is my wife Tori. We're coming to you live.
We just thought we'd pop on today and maybe answer some questions, talk a little bit about love, marriage, forgiveness, and more. One lucky couple today will win our free Love's Blueprint assessment. Our gift to you just for joining us today. I think that most of you know our story. You've seen it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and how we recently experienced infidelity in our marriage, and how we've come through it and how we're still working through it, and that you can come out on the other side stronger in your marriage. It doesn't have to mean the end. So, with that, I will turn it over to my handsome husband.
All right. So you all have decided that um, you're going to work it out. Um, and of course, one of the first steps is building all the trust that has been lost, or maybe there was no trust there to begin with. I don't know. But either way, um, if you've decided that you're going to work through it, you have to start at ground zero and you have to start building trust again. And a lot of that comes in the form of probably communicating a way that you're not used to communicating. An example is, whereas, you would do your routine, you leave home, go to the gym, go to work, come home, stop at your favorite watering hole, have a beer, then go home. Um, and before you did it without incident. Um, but now, since you all are rebuilding and you're starting from ground zero, um, you kind of have to send those steps now. So when you get to work, hey, I'm at work, I'm at the gym, I'm down here at Gus's watering spot, you're getting me a beer, I'm hanging out with the guys, I'm gonna play a game of pool. Um, if you like me sometimes, sometimes things, will spark a thought, and you can get off the rails real quick, and that's okay. If or you're on your way home and you think of something else that you've been meaning to do, and you think, oh my God, I forgot I needed to go do this and this, just, you know, do a quick call. Say, hey, I remembered I wanted to go do X, Y, Z. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. It's going to take me an additional, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it may take. Um, just to let you know what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and I'll be home soon afterwards. Um, I know it can be a little frustrating and it gets redundant after a while, but again, the key is you building that trust again, and you have to do it with the communication. And of course, communication is just simply, you're giving information, somebody's receiving information. Um, Unfortunately, sometimes, the information you give, it's kind of like reading, some legal documents. Um, where all the whereases and the therefores and the have haves, and you're like, wait, slow down. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not understanding it. I need you to reword it. Um, and that happens because we don't, everybody don't operate on the same operating system. Um, everybody don't think the same, they don't speak the same, they don't communicate the same, and everybody don't receive information the same. you know if you if you think about it, versus Samsung versus an iPhone, everybody knows those phones work. They do the same thing, but they do it very differently. And so you have to do different things to to get the outcome that you're looking for. But
Nothing. Uh, Rebuilding trust is very important, but as anybody who's been through any relationship trauma knows, forgiveness is the first step. And forgiveness is not just for the person who's been hurt, but it's also for the person who committed the hurt or the adultery or the trauma or whatever it is that's, the issue in your relationship or your marriage. You have to forgive that person if you're going to move forward. And that person has to be able to forgive themselves for making the mistake and for hurting you. And in doing that, I think both people can heal. And a big part of forgiveness is not every time you forget to take out the trash, I bring this up or I blame it. Um, you can't keep saying every day, well, I'm acting this way because you did this, or I did this because you did this. It's not a tit for tat. So if you forgive, then you have to actively work on forgiving. And it's involuntary. It's not something that just happens because we are designed by nature to avoid pain. And that thing can cause a great deal of pain. So I think that forgiveness is key for both people at actively working on it and then remembering that it's not a destination, right? It's an everyday thing that you have to work on together. So I think it's super important just to remember. You just got to keep working on it. It's involuntary, like sneezing. But if you want your marriage and you want it to be better than it ever was, you got to learn how to forgive each other and yourself.
Right. Right. And and forgiving is hard, and not necessarily, forgive and forget, but you have to forgive and remember, say, hey, you know what, this happened before, we talked about it, we walked about it, and we did everything, and still we decided, that we were going to hang in there, for whatever your reasons were, and you just have to just keep communicating. I mean, that's the big thing. You have to
Right.
keep communicating, and
And be consistent because consistency is what changes or rebuilds trust.
right.
You have, and sometimes it just not happen overnight. So it's not, well, I mean, it's been 3 months or it's been this or that's not how that works. You don't get to dictate when the other person is or how the other person heals. You work every day. And sometimes that means, like Curtis said, being redundant and doing things that you would not normally do. But if you want a better marriage, you have to be mindful of those things and actively do them.
Right.
So,
And communicate effectively. I'm sorry, I left that part out. You have to effectively communicate. Um, just the other day Tori was out doing something and I was on my way home and I remembered something that I've been trying to see this guy for a while. So I swooped by his house real quick and I just texted the whole story. Because I mean I knew it was coming, but again, I wanted her to, completely understand where I was, what I was doing, and everything was okay. And normally I wouldn't. I would just go by and talk to the guy, and 3 months later, the conversation would come up, and you'd be like, "When did you do that?" And then I'd be like, "Oh, you remember the day I was going so and so?" And you'd be like, "No, I don't remember that day." But again, that effective communication, it just keeps the door open. So there's no surprises and there's no questions. Or just anything like that. So effective communication is definitely it, and consistent communication. Effective and consistent communication is um is going to be the starting point. You have anything, Tor?
um, I'm all over the place in my head. I think that with communication, a lot of times couples don't want to acknowledge that it happened. So we either don't speak about it or we push it under the rug. I know on this journey and sharing what we're going to do with people, I've heard several times, are you sure that's what you want to do? Well, that requires a certain level of openness and omission. You know, was I sure? Absolutely not. Did I want to just be all out here in the public telling everybody, oh, my husband cheated? Ha, here we are. No, I don't want to do that. But you know what? We're here. God gave us a vision. God put a purpose in our life. And that purpose was to help other people make it through not just infidelity, but other relationship trauma and help you see that you can come through on the other side stronger, better than anything you've had before. And your marriage can be more intimate and more loving. So Communication is key, and being public is not for everyone, but it is the purpose that God put in our life and for our marriage. So here we are, being open and vulnerable and sharing our story in hopes that it will help someone else.
So remember, effective, consistent communication.
We have tools on our website, survivinginfidelity.com. Please visit. Once we go through our comments section, we will choose one lucky couple who will win Love's Blueprint. Love's Blueprint is an assessment that you can take whether you are married and just in a relationship, even if you're thinking about getting married. I think that it's a great tool for you to just kind of see where you are, um, and to identify key areas that you can work on to improve not just your marriage or your relationship, but yourself before you take that step into marriage. So you'll win that. That's very exciting. And don't forget to sign up for our 7 days to better communication. That is completely free to you, and it is found on our website, www.survivinginfidelitytogether.com. Thank you so much for joining us today on our live. We look forward to seeing you next week.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and share
Ah, that's right. And hit that bell. Ding, ding.
so you don't miss a thing.
That's right. Have a good night. Bye.
Ciao.